Summer notes number 2. Let's get it going. Welcome to Officiating Born. I'm Jeffrey Rutledge from Officiating Born, here to bring you another edition of the Summer Notes. This edition is to help you understand some things that I learned or that we all learned from camps and camp season. Let's get into it. Let's get it started by one of the most important things that you need to know when you are officiating or when you go to a camp. You need to be in shape. You need to look right in your uniform. You need to look the part. That's probably one of the most overlooked aspects of going to a camp, that a lot of people think that being in shape is not important. Being in shape is the utmost. How you look in your uniform is the utmost. If you are in a camp that requires you to wear pants, that is what you do. You wear pants, but have your uniform together and look like it would during the regular season. This is a good time to dry clean your uniform, to make sure that it's clean, to make sure it's pressed, to make sure that it looks clean, make sure your shoes are in place, your shirts are in place. All the things are in place because, again, this is one of the most important parts of officiating. Let me tell you a very quick story. I was at a camp not too long ago, about a couple months ago, where we were registering for the camp and signing in. And one of the guys that was in front of me was a guy who had lost a lot of weight. He actually looked really good, and he's also a very good official. Well, one of the first things the camp director said to him immediately, "Oh my God, you lost a lot of weight." And he had lost a ton of weight. So that was the impression, and we haven't even got on the court yet. How you look in the uniform might say everything about how you worked in the off season to get ready for that camp and to impress somebody. This is an important one that's sometimes not overlooked and might even seem minor. Limit your side conversations that you have when you are officiating or when you are observing on a court. When you are observing on a court or when you are watching other officials work and the clinicians are there, you need to be very cognizant of the things that you talk about and the things you probably don't talk about. Don't talk about how drunk you were the night before or how much fun you had at the hotel or all the shenanigans that are going on, especially around clinicians who don't know anything about you, don't know where you're from or anything. Limit your side conversation. Limit your side conversations when it comes to what is going on the court. You shouldn't be commenting on things that are happening on the court, because if you are commenting by yourself with other individuals and saying things, that also gives the impression that maybe you know more than you think you do, or that you understand something that maybe you don't. Let the clinicians talk, let the clinicians interact with you, but do not have side conversations where the clinicians are hearing you giving commentary about what is happening. Like, "Ooh, I don't think that was a good call," or "No, isn't the rule this, that, the other?" Don't have those kind of conversations. Have those conversations away from clinicians, away from individuals that are out of earshot. But when you're standing there with the clinicians waiting on your next game or right after your other game, don't be making commentary about what is taking place during that game. Limit your side conversations. This is one that was actually hard for me. One of the things you do not want to do, just officiate the game and stop watching up in the stands or at the clinicians to find out, ooh, are they giving my approval or getting some approval for the call? Do not do that. This was a mistake I made. As I said, I did this probably off and on for years and maybe not did it not so subtly as I should have. But do not watch them watching you. Just officiate the game, and then afterwards, then you can look to seek for their advice during a timeout or something where maybe they are talking to you, or you might have a very quick question. But don't sit around watching the clinicians. Every time you call something, you got to go look over at them to see what are they thinking, or maybe if they gave you some approval. Just officiate the game. Don't watch them watching you. This is sometimes actually one of the more important ones, but I could have put this anywhere in the pecking order, not that there really is an order. But stop butting the clinicians. When a clinician is telling you something, regardless of how important to you or maybe even what somebody else told you, it is not your job at that particular moment to say, but I wish I would have, or but I think that this is what the rule is, or but I'm not sure that's right. It doesn't matter. Let the clinician give you the information that they're going to give you. Sometimes they're trying to fit in a lot of things and they don't have time to talk to you. Keep this in mind. Clinicians know from experience what they're watching. They know what they saw. They know what they saw you do. They know what they saw from their perspective. If they have a question for you, they most of the time will ask you. But stop telling them, but I wish I would have, or but here's the excuse. If a clinician is telling you something, sometimes that is the mouthpiece for the camp director. That is the mouthpiece. That person knows more about that and has the trust of the camp director, so they know what they're thinking. So they're probably bringing to your attention things that they know will get you in trouble or they know won't sit well. You need to just officiate the game, listen to them, and take what works, throw out the rest. You may not realize how powerful that clinician is. That clinician might be the one that advocates for you. That clinician might be the one that actually undermines you. So basically, don't give them any ammo to tell you or to go back to their boss or their bosses and say, this person ain't ready or this person won't listen. That's the last thing you want to do. Just simply listen to what they have to say. Okay, and this is probably one of the most important aspects of going to a camp. It doesn't really matter what kind of camp that you're going to, whether you're going to a teaching camp or whether you're going to a tryout camp or whether you're going to a college camp or whether you're going to a high school camp. You could even be going to a camp that's just trying to give you instruction so that you can learn and take some lessons. But treat it like a job interview. Anything that you do and say is being evaluated at that particular time. Everything that you do on court is being evaluated one way or the other. Even if you have a social, they're watching things like how much you drink, they're watching things about who you hang out with. Treat it like a job interview. This is the time when this off-court stuff can actually hurt you sometimes more than the on-court stuff. A lot of times when you're at camps, there are a lot of people who can officiate. Let the officiating speak for itself on the court, but do not do something to undermine your ability to get an opportunity. Even if it's a teaching camp where you think it doesn't matter, that's sometimes when they start identifying people for the future. Even if you don't get hired right then, it might be something that maybe the next time you show up, they're looking at you and they're paying attention to things you're doing and they remember what was done in the past. Or they look at things that you have done that are incorrect or that undermine your ability by maybe acting a certain way or saying certain things or maybe even advocating things that are completely wrong or showing that you're not a good person. Do not give them the ammunition to mark you off. One of the biggest parts about camp is what people don't understand. A lot of times, especially at the tryout camps, they're looking for why nots. They're not looking for whys. They're looking for reasons not to put you on their staff. They're not looking for reasons to put you on staff. If you're going to be put on staff or you're going to get an opportunity, it's usually because of the things that you do and you've proven in the past. But if you are with somebody else and it's a give or take 1 versus 2 or 1A versus 1B, the stuff that you do like off the court and maybe the things I was talking about might get you fired or never get you an opportunity in the first place. Always keep that in mind. Thank you for watching the video once again to the end. Your support is much needed. If you have any comments, please leave a comment in the comment section so that I can get back to you as soon as possible. Let me know if there's any other content that you want us to discuss at Officiating Born. Also, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and don't forget to hit the little bell so that you get notifications each time there's a new video coming out. Thank you very much. This is Officiating Born, getting better one play at a time.